Cox, you're up first. All right, well, you're not speaking then. No, you're either going now or you're not going. Sir, I don't care what we're going to ask you. All right. I'm putting you on notice. You can speak now or you don't speak.
All right, well, you can go to the court with me.
Okay, so you're done. Your 2 minutes are waived. Haley Becker.
I don't waive anything, Mr. Mayor. I'm not talking at this time.
Haley Becker. Haley Becker.
My card.
Sir, interrupt me again. You're out of here.
Really?
Out. Please remove him. Thank you, John. Well, then just exit quietly and we can all move on. Have a nice night, Mr. Cox. All right, Ms. Becker, you said it was gone? Yes? Gone, all right. Raymond Cox is gone. Casey Cooper?
Thanks for the long meeting about nonsense.
You recognized.
What?
You recognized. Go ahead.
What? My name's Casey, all right?
Oh, I just recognized you. You
All right, cool. I don't know what the heck that means. Thanks for the long meeting about talking about nonsense. You're talking about the food sharing ban and reinstating it when you have taco trucks on the Riverwalk, which do not have a porta potty. They do not have a single cleaning station where you can wash your hands. They don't have a single porta potty in sight. You got to walk over, what is it, a half a mile just to go to a bathroom? And you're going to make it illegal for people to feed someone. You're just going to sit up here, get on your iPhones, look dumb, play on your iPads. You're not doing anything. What are you accomplishing? Scratch your head. What? You guys don't do anything up here. You guys do not acknowledge the people. You guys don't look at the people. You just ignore all of us. All night, you guys laugh. You guys get up. You guys are absent. Especially you, Roberts. Yeah, you.
Cooper.
And then from there,
you're going to address.
Yeah, I am addressing it.
When you stop, you're going to say Mr. Roberts or Commissioner Roberts. You don't call somebody Roberts. I don't call you Cooper. I address you as Mr. Cooper. You recognize Mr. Cooper. All right. To be respectful. All right,
Mr. Roberts, with the food sharing ban with your commission, when you guys do this kind of stuff, it leads to police brutality. When it leads to police brutality, you get people like him, the one with his mouth open, that gets pretty mad at people. And he's not even a sergeant, and he tries to get mad at people. And what is he doing? Not even a sergeant first class. What are you? I don't care. But at the same time, when you're not addressing the concerns and you're going to open up taco trucks, but you're going to make it illegal for me to eat, and there's no sanitation stations, there's no porta potties when you said you're going to provide a porta potty. What's going on? I'm eating regardless.
Mr. Cooper, I'll give you another 15 seconds since I took some of your time. Go ahead. You good? All right. Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Next up, Marshall Sniper. Snipper. Sorry about that, sir. You recognize Mr. Snipper?
Okay, my name is Marshall Schnitzer. I'm probably one of the few people in this room besides Casey that's been actually homeless. I was homeless almost 3 years. As far as Officer Rivera, he needs to be fired. As far as the rest of the Fort Lauderdale PD, 3 years homeless, never had a problem with any of them. So that being said, they're good guys for the most part. They give out their summonses, do what they got to do, but don't bother anybody. The real reason I'm here, though, is because of the feedings. Mayor Jack,
hold on, I'll stop the clock. But we're here on an item involving the ordinance in question, not anything to do with our police officers.
Well, I just wanted to make that statement real quick because most of the cops I know here are not bad guys. They do their job.
I agree.
Officer Ramirez needs to be fired. And can I go on with what I was going to say?
Sure.
Okay, what Casey said about the food trucks was 100% right. I was down there today, saw that. The feedings can't stop until we start housing the homeless. That's the key. If Utah can house them for $11,000 a year, we can put a penny. Mr. Commissioner Trentellis was there at one of the meetings because I go to all provider meetings. If you put a penny tax on the alcohol here, you could probably house all the homeless in Fort Lauderdale within a year. wants to think about that. You were there for that meeting. I was there. I go to all of these meetings where the providers are. Nobody wants to listen. You cannot stop feeding people. You cannot let them. Here, the reason that happened at the bus terminal is your fault because you said we could use that bathroom. Apparently, we can't. Apparently, what you said about 17 feedings was also wrong. So you're going on and on about what you're doing, and I'm out there, and I know it's not true. Now, aside from the feedings, you've got to house these people. You've got to put them in a place where case managers can get to them to help them, where the psychiatrist, where anybody that is a healthcare provider or something like that can get there to help them. You can't just stop feeding people and expect them to roll over and die. They're not. You're being chased from downtown every single day. They're being moved around, but they still come back. It's not going to go away. You can put your head in the sand at the beach. You can put your head wherever you want. It's not going to stop. The lady over there with the blonde hair and the burgundy jacket, I've asked to speak to her a few times. She's the new czar of homelessness. Never got a phone call. Every advocate group got a phone call and has met with her but me. I'm the only one that has actually been homeless out of all of these groups that nobody speaks to. I can't get to see him. She don't call me. What do? How do I make you understand that the problem is not going to go away unless you try to solve it? And you really are not trying to solve the problem. The problem is housing the homeless. You can bring their food trucks to their door, and they'll eat there. But the churches tonight was a feeding right over here at the Lutheran Church. Chick-fil-A came out and fed. You got to house them before anything else happens. You can bring all the case managers, everything. Nothing's going to be done. With that, I'm done. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Michael Robinson?
Good evening. I'm glad that I'm not saying good morning. Okay, just put it on the record that I don't trust your rhetoric. I trust the proposals that you pass. And that speaks more to me than your rhetoric. Okay, so I can neither support nor deny your proposal because your administration framed this issue on the wrong parameters. Now that your bureaucracy has assaulted public use for public space, you extend a meaningless zone of social service. And I say meaningless because you're imposing limitations on the diverse use of space. Officer Ramirez paid vacation for abusively blocking someone out of a public facility exemplifies your city's priorities. That is, capital and property, not the citizens. Intimidating the undesirables out of public space improves your economy. It's good for property values. And instead of returning public property to the unregulated use of the public, your bureaucracy has repeatedly demonstrated a refusal to repeal these heinous human rights violations that you call restrictions, and now you're saying, let's do social services there. Fire the abuser, revoke your insane criminalization of compassion. Until then, anyone who's not a sociopath, and that means who still has compassion, should give you hell for these restrictions, these human rights violations that you call restrictions, in the language of your bureaucracy. And if you continue to resist the path of justice, it's obvious how the righteous will remember your administration in our own city, the reputation of our city. You've got an international media attention. Do not amend, repeal. Repeal, repeal, do not amend. And the righteous will remember the proposals that you pass. That's all I have to say. And Ramirez, involuntary community service and anger management classes, and fire.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Jake Lubrell? Jake, just so I'm clear, it says you're a member of South Florida something block?
South Florida COP block, it's a police accountability, it's a decentralized police accountability project.
COP block?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
My view of these laws will never change, and I absolutely can't see why you would continue to pass further restrictions on us helping the homeless. Getting certain special interests and other government agencies more involved is not going to solve anything. It's only going to create more problems for every person in the city. It is the duty of need every person, every civilian, everyone who calls himself a true American to resist all forms of injustice and tyranny. Tyranny is defined as what is legal for the government and illegal for the citizenry. That's why it's important for all of us to unite in spite of our differences and to actively resist, keep helping those who are oppressed by the system by any means necessary. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Haley Barber? That was Haley Becker that left, right? Haley Barber left also? Reverend Gail Tapscott. Do you want us to bring a microphone to you?
Well, good evening again, gentlemen. I really don't like coming here. I know that it must seem like I just love it, but just let me say that I like to get my sleep too. And I've been at meetings all day today. I was at a meeting for Bold Justice this morning, an interfaith group that's looking at elderly issues and citations for young people. And then I went from there to a group of clergy, mostly people from the African American community, clergy people who are looking at raising the minimum wage, and then I taught a class on science and spirituality, and now I'm here, and been here for quite a while. The point that several people have made that rather than amending anything, we just ought to obliterate this whole package of ordinances and start over. You could starting over by coming to my little church, which I regret to say is not located in downtown Fort Lauderdale. I would have this at my home, but I don't live in a nice fancy home like some of you folks do. I have a modest little cottage down in Sailboat Bend, and it really wouldn't hold all the people that want to come to this thing. So at my church in Oakland Park at 5 o'clock, we're going to be showing a movie called Uncharted. It's a wonderful movie that gets to the heart of the homeless issue. We're going to be having discussions. There will be beer and wine. We would be happy to give you a beer or wine if you want to join us there. We won't even ask for your ID because we know that you're probably over 21. And we would like to just sit down and have a civil conversation. If you would all step down from your dais and come just be another human being trying to solve a difficult human problem. It would be my pleasure to have everybody that wants to come and address this issue from a starting over position join me, and the rest of the group that will be there. Many of my other clergy friends will be there. We are really tired of this stuff, honestly. Tired of it. I've had 2 people staying with me recently who are, shall we say, home free. I have 3 members of my congregation who are home free. Most of them are semi-sheltered, but thank you. So let's just stop this
Yeah,
nonsense.
I'll give you more time. How much do you need?
No, I'm serious. At my 5 o'clock, my church, 3970 Northwest 21st Avenue. I am a Fort Lauderdale resident, but the church unfortunately had to move out to Oakland Park due to property values. We would much prefer to be an urban church. But anyway, we welcome all of you that have an interest in this, an honest interest in really starting over and looking, as several people said, housing first. Utah's doing it. We don't have the Mormon church here, and they're pretty heavily financing it. But, you know, I'll take whatever church will help finance it, or even the money from the Downtown Development Corporation. We have got to get people off the streets.